What's going on? Welcome to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be about the games coming to retail the week of January 14th. We have some great games, and if you notice, this is the first video of 2024. I did go on a bit of a hiatus. I didn't see many games coming to retail. Also, life really caught up to me, and I had to stop and slow down for a bit and kind of catch back up. And if you notice, there is a little bit of a new camera angle as well. The new camera angle comes from me rearranging my room and just being a little more conscientious of how I store and organize things. And that includes a lot of games that I had to get rid of and sell. Not just selling the games, of course, but I also gave some away only because it became too many games. And I'll have a video about that later this week, but I have been on a hiatus and this is all new and fresh. So this camera angle won't be something that's going to be really common. It's going to be changing and dynamic for a bit while I try to adjust. But we do have games coming to retail and a lot of games starting to come up now ever since we stopped posting videos for a bit. I'm back in full swing. I'm going to be on TikTok, on Shorts, back with the games coming to retail every week, and I'm going to be talking about the games. So let's get this video going, as I don't want long videos. That's always been the goal. And I will have coming up some videos explaining where the channel is going, the direction of the channel, and some other great stuff that I usually do about games games coming to retail, of course, weekly, but games leaving the collection as well, only because I'm aiming for the goal to be more of like a minimalistic board gamer, having a great quality collection of games that I like playing and enjoy playing, instead of having 600 games or 500 games. That is the goal and the direction we're going, and there's so much fun content coming this year. Now let's go back to the main video topic, and let's go cover the games coming to retail. Keep in mind, I'm covering the games coming to retail in the US, just so you know. Next thing to keep in mind, if a game's release date changes, I'll make sure to update you about that change in a future video when the new game's release date gets mentioned. Awesome. Let's get this video going. First things first, in my last video before I went kind of on a little hiatus or vacation, I guess, I did mention there was a game called Mycelia coming out, and I ended up doing my research, and instead of bringing up the correct Mycelia game, I brought up another one that was just on Kickstarter. The correct Mycelia game that should have been mentioned was Mycelia by Ravensburger. This Mycelia game is the one coming to that should have been out to retail now as of December 1st. The other Mycelia game I mentioned is not coming to retail yet, so just keep that in mind. I'll have a link to the video so you can watch that and see the correction. This Mycelia game it should already be out, and it's just a correction from my previous video. In this one, you're going to be deck building and building your network of mushrooms, the Mycelia, right? And as you're doing that, it's just a really standard deck building family game. You're going to be having a market of cards, building the best deck possible. Everyone starts with the same amount of cards in their deck, or the same type of cards in their deck, and they build off of that to score the most points. You're kind of collecting forest creatures or not really forest creatures, more like mushroom creatures that are going to be helping you achieve your goals in Mycelia and have the most points. That's kind of a brief overview of the game. This should already be out for retail. Keep that in mind. Let's move on to the next game, Sankoré. So Sankoré is going to be a game by Osprey Games coming out on January 18th. Sankoré is a midweight Eurogame for 1 to 4 players. You follow the rise of the fortunes of the prestigious University of Sankoré in the 14th century Timbuktu. I apologize for my pronunciations. I probably am butchering this, and if I am, my apologies. This game comes out on January 18th. This is going to be a Euro game, very standard. You're going to go in, you're going to be building up tracks and going to different places to achieve different actions. As you do so, getting the most prestige or points in the game. That's kind of the gist of the game. It's by Osprey, and it has gotten a lot of praise and reviews by a lot of people. I am interested to try this game out. I am really curious to see how it is. The illustrator is Ian O'Toole, who has done a lot of great games like Vidal Lacerda's games, and he's more of like an illustrator, right? He does the art, which I love art in games. It's one of the things that brings me in the most is the art or the cover art of a game. The box art of a game is what pulls me in. And from there, the way the game looks and the theme, and then the mechanics, of course. That's usually what starts me off first. It's like if a game looks pretty and bright and pops, that brings me in, holds my attention. Sankoré does look like that, and it has, like I said, it's a Euro-style game, however, has received a really, really large amount of attention. I'm curious. I want to try it out. This game comes out January 18th by Osprey Games, Sankoré. Coming up next, coming out on January 19th, is going to be Invincible, the dice game by Mantic Games. So it's going to be 2 different games here. The Invincible dice game by Mind to Games, and the Walking Dead dice game. These games have very similar mechanics, the same mechanics actually for that matter. It's just a different theme. So I'm going to be talking about both games, and I'll just mention the couple of differences, and the difference is just the theme stuff. So an Invincible the dice game and the Walking Dead dice game, you're going to be rolling dice and you're going to be using cards. You're going to go through a deck of cards and you're going to have different challenges that you achieve with your different type of dice. And as you go through, you're going to be collecting resources, you're going to be earning points, and you're not really doing this cooperatively. Everyone's, for example, in Invincible, you're auditioning to be part of a superhero team. And then in The Walking Dead, you're kind of like auditioning, I guess, quote unquote, to go onto the Walking Dead team, or Rick Grimes' team, the main character. And you're going to be rolling dice and achieving different challenges on cards. The thing about these games sometimes it's really heavy on luck based. So if you like dice chucking, rolling the dice and gambling a little bit, that's kind of the, not really gambling, rolling the dice and trying to achieve a goal with just so much random options going on. So there's a lot of things depending on dice rolls. If you don't like games where that whole thing is dependent on a dice roll, this game might not be for you. It's a really big random sequence you go through, and you're going to be just trying to achieve a goal, and it's all depends on luck. A lot of luck based in this game. However, the theme is really cool. I like Invincible. I love comic books, and I love the show that's Amazon Prime. I'm a really big fan. And you're going to be going through, and they give you even bonus cards if you purchase from the website. Who doesn't love an exclusive or some expansions? And in the Walking Dead one, same thing. They're going to give you some exclusives and expansions, of course, ahead of the retail release. You can buy on the website. And it's the same exact mechanics, just a different theme kind of plastered on. So if you prefer zombies, if you prefer superheroes, pick which one you like the most and try it out. If you like luck-based games, this game would be for you. This is The Walking Dead, the dice game, and Invincible, the dice game by Manta Games, coming out to you on January 19th. Moving on to another game, Look at the Stars with Pandasaurus Games is going to be coming out to you on January 19th. Look at the Stars. Pandasaurus, by the way, has done so many great games, and they're releasing a lot of really cool stuff. I mean, even since last year, I've been mentioning their name a lot, and some of the games are super cool and unique, very awesome themes. And yeah, I really appreciate that. Levels up the industry and makes just the board game ecosystem a little more wider and broader than just having the same themes plastered on over and over again. Look at the Stars is going to be a game where you're going to be drawing constellations, right? You're going to be drawing constellations of planets and shooting stars. That has been done before, but let me explain the gameplay a little bit. In the game itself, you're going to have your player sheet, and you're going to be drawing out constellations. But as you go on and the deck gets smaller, as more cards are being flipped and you're drawing your constellations, you're going to see less and less of your board. So you're going to have to kind of remember where exactly you left off on your board when you're drawing in the lines that you're copying from the constellations cards. The cards going to go down here a little more. It's going to be, the markers are going to be here, and the cards are just a little bit too small here, but they're going to be just lines. For example, looking here, they're drawing a line here. You're going to have different shapes with the lines that are being made, and you're going to be adding them in. At the end of the game, you're going to be adding up all the times you've made really good constellations, like your connection of constellations are there. If you have 2 lines or less, you don't get the points. Very straightforward and very straightforward game. It's not really complex anyway. It also seems like it comes in a small box. I could be wrong from the size here, but that's what it looks like. Nothing crazy big, easy and portable, which is a great thing. I feel like that's kind of the future in gaming right now. Like the current trend is small box games. Small box games that are easy to port around, don't take up too much space, and can be played quickly. That's what I've noticed the trend of games have been going on lately. Look at the Stars with Pandasaurus Games coming out to you on January 9th. Coming up next is going to be Sea Salt and Paper Extra Salt, coming out to you on January 19th. This is just an expansion, by the way. Keep that in mind. Also by Pandasaurus Game. So Sea Salt and Paper is going to be a small card game that you can actually... I have had this on my radar for a long time, and I really want to play it so bad. It's really small. It's just a bunch of cards, but your whole goal is to manage your hand and collect sets of cards to get points. If you get to 7 points, usually you can declare the game's over, almost similar to like Uno. And you can either bet on the fact that you're going to be the winner, and you bet on it, or you have the most amount of points, and you get bonus points for announcing that bet. You can also do so. You can also, once you reach that 7, you want to declare that, of course, because you want to end the game, and hopefully you have the most. It kind of adds a little bit of like, I wouldn't say push or luck. It's more of a kind of like a teeter-totter in between trying to find out and guess what everyone's doing. A little bit like a poker thing right now, right? You're trying to find out what everyone's hands look like, if they have the more points or if you have the most points. In the meantime, it's not just about that. It's going to also add in a couple of things with cards, and the cards you play out can do different abilities. You can take someone else's card, stuff like that. And you're going to add in this expansion. So this expansion is coming out on January 19th. You just add it in. It's going to be 8 new cards with 5 new effects. So it just kind of adds in a little more like some extra mechanics into the mix to refresh up this little card game. Usually, like I said, really good. The reason why is because sometimes these card games get a little stale after a while. You play them, depending on what kind of gamer you are. After a couple plays, the game gets kind of stale. You want to see something new to add in. So this adds in 8 new cards for you to try out and kind of mix and match the expansion into your game. It's first you saw on paper. This is coming out to you on January 19th. Like I said, Pandasaurus, some super cool stuff they've been releasing, and I'm excited to see what they have in stock for this year. Awesome. We're at the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate it. Thank you for making it this far into the video. That is super awesome. Helps the channel grow. If you like what we're doing, if you don't mind dropping a comment, subscribing, or liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and dropping a comment, that would be super helpful. Let me know what game you're picking up. If it's one of these games, maybe you picked up a game already and you want to talk about it. I love talking about games, and listening to you guys talk in the comment section has always been a fun thing for me to do. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it. Have a good one.